Who was Nelson Mandela? A name synonymous with freedom, justice, and unwavering resilience. But his story is far more complex than just a simple label of hero. Before the world knew him as a symbol of peace and icon of reconciliation, he was a young rebel, driven by a burning desire to dismantle an unjust system. A man who dared to defy, who refused to accept the status quo, one of the harshest regimes on the planet, a system built on racial segregation and oppression. Today I'll tell you the story of a man who defied expectations, how a village boy became, against all odds, South Africa's most famous political prisoner, and ultimately its liberator. Mandela was born in 1918, a time of immense social and political upheaval, in a tiny village in South Africa, a land already scarred by the deep wounds of colonialism. He was part of the Thembu royal family, a lineage that instilled in him a sense of duty and responsibility, a fact that gave him pride, a deep connection to his heritage, but not power in the eyes of the ruling colonial government. From the start, his life was shaped, molded by the forces of history, by colonial rule and hard racist laws that permeated every aspect of South African society. Mandela saw injustice everywhere, the blatant inequality, the daily indignities suffered by his people. It fueled his dreams of freedom, a vision of a South Africa where all people were treated with dignity and respect. He studied law, believing that the legal system could be a tool for change, hoping to change his country through knowledge, through a mastery of the very laws that oppressed his people. In the 1940s he joined, recognizing the need for collective action, the African National Congress, the ANC, a growing force for liberation. Their goal? End apartheid, to dismantle the entire system of racial segregation and discrimination. Apartheid wasn't just prejudice, it was far more insidious. It was an official system, enshrined in law and enforced with brutal efficiency. Black South Africans were pushed down, denied basic rights and opportunities, and kept out of power, systematically excluded from participating in the political and economic life of their own country. Mandela stood up, refusing to be silenced. At first, Mandela believed in peaceful protest, in nonviolent resistance as a means to achieve change. But the government answered, met peaceful demonstrations with bullets and batons, with tear gas and imprisonment. After years of watching friends beaten and killed, witnessing the brutality of the regime firsthand, Mandela changed his strategy, recognizing that peaceful means alone were not enough to dismantle apartheid. He helped form Umkhonto we Sizwe, believing that armed resistance was a necessary last resort, the spear of the nation, a name that symbolized their fight for liberation. The ANC's new armed wing, a controversial decision that marked a turning point in the struggle against apartheid. They targeted buildings, not people, focusing on symbols of the apartheid regime. They wanted to shake the system, to disrupt the foundations of apartheid and force the government to negotiate, not hurt innocents, taking great care to avoid civilian casualties. The government saw Mandela and Umkhonto we Sizwe as public enemy number one, a dangerous threat to their authority. In 1962, the police caught up to him, bringing an end to his life as a fugitive. Mandela was arrested, tried, facing charges of sabotage and other offenses, and in 1964, sentenced to life in prison, a sentence that was meant to crush his spirit and silence his voice. At the Rivonia trial, a pivotal moment in South African history, he spoke words that shook the world, a defiant and passionate defense of his actions and his beliefs. "It is an ideal for which I am prepared to die," words that echoed around the globe, inspiring millions to join the fight against apartheid. They sent him to Robben Island, a harsh and isolated prison where he would spend the next 18 years. For 27 years, a seemingly endless period of confinement, he smashed rocks, enduring backbreaking labor under the scorching sun, cut off from his family, his people, and his cause, subjected to the dehumanizing conditions of prison life. But he was never forgotten. His spirit remained unbroken. His name became a whisper of hope, a symbol of resistance against oppression, across continents, inspiring activists and ordinary people alike to demand his release. By the time Mandela left his cell, after decades of imprisonment, he was more than a prisoner, he had become a legend. He was a symbol of the struggle for freedom and equality. The world called for his freedom, demanding an end to his unjust imprisonment, and for an end to injustice, for the dismantling of apartheid and the creation of a truly democratic South Africa. But Mandela's journey wasn't over. His release from prison was just the beginning of a new chapter. In part 2, I'll reveal the next phase of his extraordinary life, how Mandela walked free and navigated the complex path towards reconciliation and a new South Africa, and led a nation toward peace, guiding his country through a period of immense transition and uncertainty. Hit subscribe to stay updated on this incredible story, and don't miss the next chapter, where we'll explore Mandela's role in shaping a new South Africa. In this inspiring story, a testament to the power of hope, resilience, and the unwavering pursuit of justice.